Hey y'all, welcome to Mystery Ridge Homestead. Thanks for coming to hang out with us again. Today is the day. It's finally time to start some fall vegetables. I'm starting a whole lot of seeds today. I'm starting a whole lot of cabbage, different kinds of cabbages, because my husband loves coleslaw and he loves sauerkraut. And he likes a lot of things made with cabbage. So we're going to try to grow different kinds of cabbage. Last year we had a pretty decent cabbage harvest started, and then the cows got in the garden and ate it. Yeah, it was not fun. So we're also starting some Romanesco broccoli that my grandchildren say look like aliens. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. I've not grown it successfully yet. We'll see how it does. I'm going to grow some purple cauliflower and some white cauliflower. What else? Let's see. I've already got some Brussels sprouts started. You have to start those earlier. So those are already started, and some of them are already in their own little pots. They've already been separated out. So, and these are the things that I'm starting from seed in the greenhouse. So there's a few things that we'll start just direct sow. Carrots. I've ordered some pelleted carrot seeds in the cosmic purple. I just think those are so pretty because they're orange on the outside and they're purple on the outside and orange on the inside. So I just think they look magical. And then of course some golden ones and some regular orange ones too. I'm hoping I can get a good carrot harvest this year. I'm going to plant quite a few. I'm also going to plant some beets. I've got just some regular Detroit beets that I'm starting from seed in the greenhouse, but I've got some seed tape ordered in various different colors and kinds of beets. And then same thing with radishes. I've got some radish tape coming too, because the seeds are so tiny for radishes and carrots and beets and those kind of things that it's really hard for me to separate them out when they start growing, to thin them. So I would prefer to grow either the pellets or the seed tape, which already has them spaced out. The seed tape does. And then the pellets has that tiny little seed, and it's wrapped up in a little enclosure of some kind, so they're bigger, a little easier to handle when you're planting them. So those things will all be direct sown in the garden. And then the ones I'm starting today, they need 5 or 6 weeks to get big enough to transplant from the greenhouse to the garden. And by then it'll be time, I'm hoping. So, well, let's go plant some seeds, y'all.
These are all of my fall seeds getting ready to go in. Those are the ones, the cabbage and the radishes that we're about to plant now in cups to transplant later. And then these will go, that'll be direct sown. The watermelon radish is my favorite radish. And then I've got some different sugar snap peas and peas. Let's see, that's a cabbage. This is, I may restart some Malabar spinach, but this is just what the lettuces and such go in. And this whole thing is different kinds of lettuce and carrots and that kind of thing. So I've got some pelleted carrot seeds that I've got on the way. So the way I do is I plant in these cups. We'll drill a hole here in the middle so that they can get water from the bottom. And then we'll just plant several different seeds in each one. I will write the name on them. And then when they're big enough, when they get their first true leaves, I will separate them into their own little cups to finish growing out. So here I've got all the seeds in the cups, and I've got the name of the seed written on them. So I will go through and fill each of the cups up with some growing medium and put about 4, 5, 6 seeds in each one. Kind of separate it out a little bit. Most of these are going to be planted. I've got several different kinds of cabbage that I'm planting. I'll just go through and put a few of each kind of seed in each one. And like I said, once they start once they start growing and they get their first true leaves, I will very gently come in here and separate each healthy plant into its own little cup until it gets big enough to go out. Hopefully in 5 or 6 weeks they'll be ready for that with a little luck. The weather's been so strange this year. It's been like almost 100 degrees and then it got cool. So I'm not sure if we're going to have any more hot weather this year or not. It's kind of debating on whether or not to go ahead and plant out the carrots. They don't like germinate in the heat, I read, but it's cooler this week, so I'm kind of contemplating go ahead and putting my carrots in, and we'll see what happens. But little tiny little seeds. All of them are little tiny little seeds. It'd be interesting to know what you guys are planting in your fall garden. Do you plant a fall garden? I kind of like the fall garden. It's cooler and you don't have all the bugs that attack all your stuff. They go into hibernation for the most part, so you don't have all that trouble, or as much of it anyway. So what do you plant? Where do you live? Do you live somewhere where you can grow like carrots and lettuce and that kind of stuff in the summer? Because I can't. I think it'd be really cool to be able to grow lettuce and carrots and tomatoes and cucumbers all at the same time for your salad. But it don't work out like that where we live in North Georgia. I can plant lettuce and carrots in the spring and in the fall, and then I can plant tomatoes and cucumbers in the summer. But there's a little bit of bleed over in the fall, and I guess a little bit in the spring too. So there's some magical times that you get a little bit of both, maybe sometimes, if it works out just right. So these will have holes in the bottom of them, and they'll go in the little seed trays. Excuse me. They'll go in the little seed trays out in my greenhouse, and I'll just keep the bottom of it watered. There's heating pads on there, but I probably won't turn them on. It's been so warm, I probably won't even turn those on right now. They don't need those to germinate right now. They do in the spring, but they don't right now. In my greenhouse, I'm sure you've seen, my greenhouse is on the porch, which works out really, really nice. When I was so sick and had anemia, I didn't feel like I didn't have the strength or energy to even walk out to the garage where the greenhouse used to be. And so my sweet husband went out there and took it all apart and brought it and put it on my screwed-in porch in the back, which works out great. I wasn't sure I'd like it there. I thought it was going to take up too much room, and we entertain out there occasionally, and I wasn't sure I was going to like it there, but I really do. I enjoy it. I enjoy going out there in the mornings. There's a big fan out there, so they really don't get too hot out there, and I can go out there early in the mornings, and I can just sit out there and play in my seeds and my seedlings and water everything, and I can even start like house plants and change if I need to change a house plant and put it in fresh soil. I can do that. So for instance, tomorrow I'm going to go out, and I think I've got I call it a mother-in-law's plant. I think the real name of it is maybe a snake plant. Real easy to grow, and I've got one that needs to be transplanted and separated. It's got too many little babies in one plant, so I'm going to turn it into about 3 plants tomorrow, and I can sit out there in my little greenhouse and do that and not make a big old mess. And if it does make a big old mess, it's not a problem. And I've got the grow lights out there, so they don't have any issues growing. So the only thing is, I put my potatoes on the ground on a towel out there, trying to cure them before I brought them in the house, and I think they were too close to the grow lights. A few of them started to turn green. So because you're not supposed to be in sun while they're curing, they're supposed to be in a cool, dark place. And I thought it would be cool and dark enough right there, but I wasn't thinking about the grow lights. That kind of bled over onto a few of the potatoes. So I guess I won't get to eat those few.
That's my sourdough back there that I've just restarted. She's not ready to go yet. I kind of did the test to drop some in some water to see if it would float, and she's not quite there yet, but it's not been a week, so I guess I need to take my time a little bit. So I'm planting purple kohlrabi and purple broccoli, and of course white broccoli too. You know, I've got one seed that just says it's colored broccoli. I'm not sure what those are going to turn out to be. Guess we'll see. There's the Romanesco broccoli. My grandkids say that looks like an alien plant, like an alien broccoli. I tried it last year and it was just starting to blossom, and when the cows got into it and ate everything out there, I was so surprised. I didn't think the cows, even if they got in there, I didn't think they would eat the brassicas, but they sure did and seemed to enjoy them. And I've got several different kinds of beets, but I've not really had any good success with anything except the Detroit Red. So I may order some seed tape in different colors and try it that way and see if I can get some different colors. Because that's half the fun of growing this stuff yourself. You can get all different kinds of unique flavors and colors, and that's what I like about my tomatoes and the salsa in the summer, because there's so many pretty colors and flavors that kind of come together. This year my salsa was a little bland because I didn't have as many colors and different kinds and flavors, so because the tomatoes didn't do as well. Well, let's go out here and put them in the little seed trays, and then I'm in the greenhouse now, so I'll put them in the little seed trays. I'm separating them by top just a little bit. It really don't matter because I'll be moving them around as I water them, and as some germinate and some don't. You know, it takes some of them it'll take longer for them to germinate than others. Well, like I said, all the little cups have holes in the bottom so they can get water. They do better if you don't water them from the top and displace all the seeds. We are in the greenhouse, the very warm greenhouse, on this gorgeous sunny Thursday morning. It's 10:30 in the morning, and we just planted a whole bunch of fall seeds, and I kind of wanted to show you the greenhouse and what it's looking like right now. I've got some nearly dead tomatoes and different squash and things back there that I never got in the ground. So here are all the seeds I just planted, except for the green one that is Brussels sprouts that have not been separated into their own little pots yet. I need to separate those. They wasn't big enough when I separated the others. Now all of these are watering them with my big watering can. Normally I would use the smaller one that I have, but there's a praying mantis that lives in here with me, and he would not get off my watering can no matter what I did. And I went and got the other one, and now I don't know where he is, so he's hidden here somewhere. This is the tray of all of the tomatoes and peppers that never got, not peppers, tomatoes and like zucchini that never got in the ground. So it's amazing how resilient how hardy they are. They just keep trying to grow, because I've not watered those in a week or two. So I did just a little bit. So I'm probably fixing to throw those out because I'm going to need the trays once I separate So the way I do is I plant like 5 or 6 of each seed, of each kind of seed in these, and they'll come up like this. And then when they're big enough, like this, I separate them. Those are Brussels sprouts that I've separated. So those need to be separated too. And I'll separate those out into their own little plants. So, and on this side I've got some holy basil that needs to be put in a pot. I've tried to grow, so I've got some mullein. I've got mullein trying there, and I've got mullein there. I was trying to grow mullein because it's a good herb, a good medicinal herb. And I've not been able to grow it in the garden, so I thought I would try it out here, but I definitely need to separate it. And what I put down there is struggling. I'm not doing very good, so because I had several. And over here, that is labeled peppermint. That's not peppermint at all. I wouldn't try to eat that. That is snapdragon that never got put in the ground. Don't know how it got labeled peppermint. Then these are some other herbs, marjoram, yarrow, St. John's wort that was doing good and something happened. And then this German chamomile, it's when I water it, it dies, and then when I let it go, it comes back. So I need to read up on that a little bit and see what I need to do. So I still have some onions and some garlic and there's our potatoes that we harvested, letting those cure a little bit. And down there is a lemon basil. I started one for me and one for my daughter, and then it needs to be put in a pot at this point, and put outside in the sun. It's getting kind of leggy in here. It's not looking too good in here. And that is the remnants of a Thanksgiving cactus that I've had for several years, and it just started falling off this year, all the pieces. So I left the ones that were rooted okay in there, and I don't know if you can see, I've started some in some water, and it's finally growing some roots, so I'll be able to put it back in there. I'm hoping. We will see. And then over here, I've got some more, that's garlic and some onions, and I've got onions above my head. So that is the status of the greenhouse right now. I will keep you guys updated. It'll take, a week or two for these to germinate. But hopefully they'll be ready to go in the ground in 5 or 6 weeks. And by that time, the summer garden will be ready to pull. In fact, I'm going to pull the cucumbers and the cherry tomatoes today, so I can go ahead. I'm going to plant a different kind of cucumber, where those were a smaller round one. I forgot what the name of it is. I got it from Baker Creek, but I'll tell you when I plant it. But that's what I'm going to plant out there, and then I'm going to start some other things on the cherry tomato side. I know what I'm going to plant out there. I'm going to try. When I was reading, I read that the squash bugs and the vine borers that they kind of get much less difficult to deal with after July. So I'm going to plant some zucchini and yellow squash out there and see if I can get some, because I've really not had but just a few this year. It's always an issue for me. Well, all right, we got fall crops started, and just I'm gonna say a prayer over them and check them daily and see what happens. This part right here, I don't know what that is. Obviously, I grew it and transplanted it, and I have no idea what it is. I'm gonna have to use my little picture app and see if I can tell what it is. Well, we'll talk to y'all soon.